Hi everyone, it's Simon here from Higher Playing Games. Hope you're having a great day. This is a review for Circuit Breakers, a twin-stick shooter available on Ps4, PC and Xbox One. It's the kind of thing I'd imagine probably ending up on the Switch as well. Not Circuit Breakers, the PS1 racer game, which is amazing. This is a 1 to 4 player cooperative adventure, which is slightly like a roguelike, but not really, and I'll explain why it's not really a roguelike. The crux that makes Circuit Breakers different compared to all the twin-stick shooters that you've got that's going on is your levelling up of your weapons. As you shoot enemies, these blue crystals fly out and you need to collect them to basically level up your weapons between levels 0, 1, 2 and 3. Once you hit level 3, you've kind of maxed out your weapon and that's the end of your upgrade for whatever you've got. Now, if you continue to shoot, your power-up is basically tied to the weapons and bullets that you're firing out, so you need to make sure that every bullet counts where possible. So you can't just mash the right analog stick around and hope for the best, because your weapon will be at level 1 forever and a day, and that's not going to cut it as you start going up through the levels. However, the kind of trade-off from that is that once you hit level 3, you've seen everything, and that's not very far into the game. You can do that within a couple of rooms in arcade mode, and the problem with that is that you then have no room for progression and you've hit the ceiling immediately, and it means that even when you come back for future visits, whether that be with mates or on your own to try and better your score, it's not really a roguelike because nothing carries over from one game to another. So you are literally relying on a one run through, hope for the best. But the way how Circuit Breakers increases its difficulty is through overwhelm of numbers, not necessarily really good characters and AI that works well and that does anything tricky. Enemies, as you go through different rooms, start to respawn, but in different colours, and it's more reskinning rather than actually becoming new and improved weapons. And that is also slightly a bit of a cop-out as well, because the rooms are all looking different and they all have slightly different themes to it, but I'd have appreciated a bit more of weapon and enemy variety going forward. What is really good though is that the extra game element that they added in after launch gives in a little mini tower defense mode for you and up to 3 of your friends to basically defend a crystal from waves of enemies coming in. And you can set up turrets, you can collect coins, that you can then upgrade them. It's very light in the way how it does the tower defense mechanic, but it's just a nice switch up from just going from room to room, clear to clear to clear, because eventually the overwhelm of numbers becomes to the point where you just can't continue on, especially if you're on your own. And I'm not fantastic at these twin stick shooter games, but I feel competent enough to kind of understand what I'm supposed to be doing and where I can go, and it just feels like it takes the cheap road when it's trying to ramp up the difficulty just by being awkward with the sheer number of stuff that's going on. In terms of controls, the game handles perfectly. I had no particular crashes or bugs whilst it was running. The graphics are suitable. They do nothing particularly, I think, to sell the game massively because it doesn't stand out for anything. But what it does mean is that when you've got so much going on screen, there is no slowdown. So that's very good and quite crucial, I think, for a twin-stick shooter. But overall, what I'd say is that this is the kind of game that I'd recommend if you spot it on a sale rather than buying it at full price, because there are other games very similar to this that do this better. The Android Cactus game is the one that really pops up into my brain as being the real standout for a 4-player twin-stick shooter if you really want to go nuts for something, because it does things different, it's got better graphics and much more character with what's going on. Here, this seems to just be a overwhelm of numbers of enemies to try and make you die, and that sometimes feels a little bit cheap. But thank you very much for watching. There will be some more gameplay of Circuit Breakers because I'm going to do some videos on the tower defense mode because, you know me, I love a tower defense. And we'll be back on more stuff on Higher Playing Games. A written review for this a written review for this game. Spit it out, Simon. Will be available on higherplayinggames.com later in the week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music, and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.